Hey, everyone. Dr. Liz here, and it is time for a podcast survey. I want to know, who are you? How old are you? Do you have kids? No kids? What do you want to see on the podcast coming up? The last survey I did was in 2019, so quite a while ago. This is 2024 now that this is airing. I love data. You all know that if you've listened to me for a while. And I really like to know who my listeners are. In fact, sometimes when I do an interview and I let them know, like, hey, these are my listeners, this is who I orient to, the guest is very surprised. They're like, wow, I've never heard of someone telling me that before. I think that's fantastic to know. It does help me know like who I'm speaking to on the podcast. Of course, there's variation, but in general, I do like to know who is listening. If my audience is 18 to 24, that's going to be a very different conversation than a different age range. And I can tell you, not a whole lot of 18 to 25 are listening to me. Okay. They listen to other podcasts. My daughter listens to a D&D podcast quite frequently, and that's not my jam. But I do actually like to get some data on that. I don't like to just guess about who it is. You also have an opportunity there to let me know what you want to hear coming up. There's some little check boxes where you can check. I want to hear more interviews. I like a mix. I want to hear more about medical stuff, or you can even leave me something specific, a specific topic that you'd like to hear about. And I really do read all of those and I look at them and I try my best to get to them. I do have some limited time that I can do the podcast in, but absolutely, if someone requests something specific and I can either find some information about it or a guest that can speak to that, I try my best to do it. So the link is in the show notes, and I know that there are some apps that actually don't show the show notes. I downloaded one the other day. I liked how it lined up the new episodes from all my different podcasts in like one little list, but it did not show me show notes. And that really drove me crazy because I like to look at the show notes to see what are they going to talk about before I listen to a podcast often. And sometimes it'll have links there to information, resources, that type of thing. So I actually deleted that app. So if you have an app like that, then what I suggest, if you really want to give your feedback for the survey, is that you go to my website and you put in the episode number and it'll pop right up and the link to the survey will pop right up. So that would be drlizhypnosis.com/episode 284. That's what this one's going to be, 284. And the link to the survey will be right there. I would love to hear your opinion, your voice. I know that they ask us to do surveys for all kinds of stuff these days, at least me. Every time I go to the doctor or sometimes when I buy a product, like review, which is basically a survey. But if you don't mind doing another one for me, I would really appreciate it. I actually don't mind doing actual data surveys. I'm on Spark's email list, which is a foundation for autism research, and they will send out surveys, and I will spend a good 30 minutes more sometimes doing one of their surveys because I feel like I'm contributing to research. And I really love doing those type. I'm not a research survey. I am simply your local podcaster asking for some data about people who listen to my podcast. That's it. But perhaps you can see this as the information that you give me about what you want to hear may help somebody else who also wants to hear that topic. It's probably going to go over 1 million downloads this year. So there's a lot of people listening to the podcast over time, and chances are someone wants to hear the topic that you want to hear about too. So in that way, you are helping other people. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Again, check those show notes for the link, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. hope you truly enjoyed today's episode. Remember that you can get free hypnosis downloads over at my website, drlizhypnosis.com, DRLIZ hypnosis.com. I work all over the world doing hypnosis. So if you're interested in working with me, please schedule a free consultation over at my website, and we'll see what your goals are and if I can be of service to you in helping you reach them. Finally, if you liked today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast or tell a friend. That way, more and more people learn about the power of hypnosis. All right, everyone, have a wonderful week. Peace. This podcast is not mental health treatment, nor should it replace mental health treatment. If you need therapy or hypnotherapy, please seek treatment from a trained professional.